If you clicked on this video, that means that you're interested in improving at Rocket League. But as we know, this game takes a lot of hours to be good at it. And it's always getting harder to rank up since the overall level in every rank tends to rise with every year that comes. This is caused by mainly two reasons: natural gameplay evolution and 14-year-olds playing more than 12 hours a day. And while we can't control the first one, we might be able to battle against the second one by creating a routine that allows us to evolve at a decent pace while still maintaining our 9-to-5 job, social interaction, and a healthy amount of solar exposure. This is why in today's video I'm going to show you some guidelines on how you're supposed to create your own routine. I mainly do this and not a fixed routine, since in my experience from my 800 plus sessions, I constantly create different routines, but they tend to follow the same structures and principles, which I learned based on the feedback that all my students gave me throughout these last years, telling me what works and what does not. So I will break down the 5 most common questions that I get during my coaching sessions about routines that you might also have. Everyday routine versus custom for each day. This one doesn't have a concrete answer, but in my opinion, you should have an everyday routine that changes over time. Let me explain. Some studies show that you need around 10,000 hours worth of practice and tries to start being a master on your craft. But this number can be higher or lower depending on how much you focus on that skill. So the goal for a routine is forcing you to practice a skill the most amount of times over the course of a time period. That's why I think that we should have a training plan that at least repeats for a few days. This will make us target just 1 or 2 skills for a decent amount of time, developing them at a faster pace. And you might counter argument by saying, Stolen, we need to develop different skills in this game, and I will cover that in the next question. How much time should I keep working on my routine? This really depends on what you're training on. Some mechanics take more time than others. This also happens when we compare macro game aspects such as rotations with mechanics. That's why it's pretty much up to you how much time do you spend on certain things. But my suggestion would be to break it down in weekly routines and always make them last in between 1 and 4. For example, you can practice dribbles for 2 weeks, shooting for 1, and pre-flips for another 1. And over the course of that month, you can also practice, let's say, boost management. How much time a pro spends playing? This is a really common question that I get during my coaching sessions. And from my experience during boot camps and season trainings, I used to design 6 to 8 hour routines for my players, obviously with some breaks in between. If you're interested in me talking about a pro routine and how a pro team works in general, let me know in the comments, because I might make a video about it. How to distribute the hours in my routine. This is the most important part in the whole video. What I will do is I will represent how much time you're supposed to spend in each block with a percentage, since not everybody has the same amount of time to spend during a training. But I will also add a reference in time for a 3-hour routine. The order in which you will put this depends on what works best for you, as well as what you specifically train during each block. I would suggest you something for this, but every person has its different needs according to the strengths and weaknesses. And that's why I give personalized routines during my coaching sessions. So if you want to book one, you can do it on Metafy with the first link in the description. We will have 3 blocks: free play and mechanical training, which will include your warm-up and time spent in custom trainings and workshops working on developing your new mechanics. I won't give you specific trainings, but I definitely suggest that you focus on basic mechanics. This could be shooting, aerial shooting, ground dribbling, and bounce reading. Defensive stuff, I know that looks cool, but won't make a significant difference in a rank. This block should represent around 25% of our total training time, or around 45 minutes. Analysis. Half of your advancements will come from this, so don't skip it. During this, you will mainly target your macro game mistakes, such as rotations, positioning, and boost management. But you can also try to spot a mechanic that you tend to fail at over and over again. This should represent around 15%, but make sure that this takes you at least 20 minutes. And even some days you can replace watching your own gameplay by watching a pro replay. Ranked. This is where everything you have trained is put to the test. You will use it to consciously implement everything that you have been watching and learning from your analysis, and especially focus on what you struggle the most. Seeing ranked as a tool to train, instead of just a way to get a rank to brag about, really makes the difference. This should represent around 60% of your playing time, but I definitely recommend you breaking it down in 45 minutes to 1 hour sessions, so you can rest for 5 to 10 minutes and jump back fresh to your next couple games. When is a good time to play casual? Never. Don't waste your time. Another thing that I suggest is finding a team, which will make the process of improving way more enjoyable and easier since you can learn from each other. You can meet new players and ask me questions on my Discord server, as well as finding testimonials from my sessions and a place to post your own goals. The link for it will be on the description. With all this, we should have a clear idea on how a solid routine should look like to help you refine the rough aspects of your gameplay. So it's time for you to customize it to your own likings and needs. I hope you find this guide useful, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe. And with anything else to say, thanks for watching and see you next time.